What if innovation wasn't just code and capital, but conversations that bridge cultures, capabilities, and symbiotic partnerships like Indo-German collaborations? In our GIIC X Build with Shreya special episode from Berlin, I sat down with leaders from around the world who unpacked why Germany's precision engineering plus India's scale is equal to unstoppable global impact. This powerhouse episode reframes partnerships as Germany plus India for the world. It's not about deals, it's infrastructure for AI, drones, space, and policy. Founders and policymakers stress blending German reliability with Indian speed to tackle shared challenges like infra gaps and disaster response. Jan Lakenmeyer and Upin Barve ignited the summit. Germany needs India's rise now for competitiveness. India brings scale, speed, digital infra.
I mean, why did we do the summit is pretty straightforward. At the end, the summit is a stage and a gateway and a stepping stone to a bigger mission. And the mission is about Germany plus India for the world, which means Germany and India should form a partnership because each has what the other respectively needs. But it's not just about those two countries to strengthen their bonds, to have better business relationships, to have better political relationships, but it's about what those two countries could do together for the world.
And when you look at whatever happened in the last 100 years, it's very interesting. If we do not define our own future, someone else is going to define us by using the past data. And I'm not sure if that's super exciting either for India or for Germany. Germany plus India for the world. Which world are we talking about? The world that is going to be immensely connected. The world that's going to look at immensely sharing what we have. The world that is going to need completion more than competition.
Open platforms invite challenges and solutions bilaterally. Bettina Schaller, president at World Employment Confederation, strongly spotlights responsible AI, skill migration, talent exchange, and political will over competition.
Usually, it's a matter of finding your seat. Then, of course, you're right. I mean, should you just sit there and stay silent and say nothing? I must say there is a big power in listening as well. And this will lead me to what I would like to answer to you today, which is exactly that: listen and identify what the problem is that is being discussed at the table. And if not at the entire table, but the problem that you have identified one of the stakeholders has at the table. And then the likelihood that the fact that you're there means that you have one of the solutions is very high. But then be very specific and present yourself as a solution provider to what is on the table. And that will grab the attention of whoever is sitting there.
This isn't optics, it's the backbone of sustainable innovation. Utkarsh from Dona Maps shares COVID command centers using digital twins for prediction.
I went to Johns Hopkins for studying computer science and specialized in computer integrated surgery. The idea was that Johns Hopkins, actually our alma mater, had launched a global COVID dashboard. So when we started visiting, when we started speaking to our clients at the time, they said that, okay, maybe you can take inspiration from that and build up something which is much more Indian, much more specific over here. So we ended up building that. Then we also worked with Johns Hopkins to be able to, get some cross data back into it, and with the University of Oxford and with IIT Madras, the director, Dr. Kamakoti. So when we integrated all of these technologies, what we ended up with was live tracking of oxygen trucks, which was a very big crisis at the time of COVID second wave in India. We were tracking the disease spread of COVID-19 as well as mucormycosis, the black fungus that took over. And so being able to do the R0 and disease epidemic analysis and spread analytics across different populations in a district center, for instance, Jalandhar, if it has the disease spread out only in the town, only in the ULB, the urban local body, or rather has it gone out to the entire district, of nearly 2,000 square kilometers of area. So where does lockdown need to be imposed? Because you want to cause the minimum amount of disruption to the citizenry, at the same time have the maximum effectiveness from the administration. So being able to do analytics like this, which were geospatial in nature, which were very, very particular, down to the last person that was being affected, being able to track their movements, enforce quarantines, being able to ensure that oxygen supply and treatments for mucormycosis were reaching on time and effectively across the entire states. So we did about 11 states at peak at the time. And so across all of these states, we were doing all of these analytics and giving all of this data to the authorities in charge.
Diverse infra insights prevent blind spots in design. Prediction beats reaction. Ankit Mehta, CEO at IdeaForge, traces drones from 2008 Mumbai attacks to national rules.
IdeaForge started as a company a little bit later, but drones as a domain started for us in 2004 when we built our first prototype of a four-rotor drone, or as it is popularly called, a quadcopter drone. So that's how we got into the domain. We essentially, after 26/11 in 2008, the attacks on Mumbai, decided that we need to take all of this development and create a product out of it that can help our forces, that can help our country. And that's how the journey began. And since then, we have been promoting this technology to make sure that it is available to our end users in the form of a capability that can help them solve the problems of doing last mile surveillance, reconnaissance, or intelligence gathering. So that's the domain we have worked extensively on. So I think it's fascinating, and I was having this chat earlier during the event that if you look at what IdeaForge represents, and I'm just giving that as an example, we have a passion for creating high performance, reliable, resilient, and in autonomous drones, right? We want to build for all of these four vectors so that when we go to a customer, they get more work done every flight, they get more number of flights, they can operate anywhere, and they can operate in adverse conditions like the conditions that are prevalent today, particularly in battlefields in the world. And of course, you need autonomy so that it does not create that much of a training burden for the customer to adopt the technology for their use. And if you look at what Germany is known for, Germany is known for high performance technology. It is known for reliable technology. All of it is very complementary to what we are already working on or are gunning for insofar as what we are doing at IdeaForge. And therefore, I see that kind of synergy wherever we encounter a piece of technology that has the backing from this side of the world, or it is something which, if we are presented with an opportunity, can be leveraged as a program or a project, we would be very excited about taking it up because it has that promise built in to the engineering approach itself.
Pairing this agility with German engineering, a competitive edge in defense, logistics, and beyond. Rules without speed stall. Axel Dennis, CEO at Bosch Business Innovations, pushes IP, capital, and people flows for spin offs in new domains.
So, my role at Bosch Business Innovations is not very close to home, if you don't mind me saying, meaning I'm not very much involved into Bosch's core business. My role is building the startups and spin-offs out of Bosch that would create the products of the day after tomorrow. Well, I see there is a lot of, let's say, mobility on a personal level. But this kind of mobility, I don't see too much on an IP or capital level. So we need the movement of all these things, ideas, people, capital, at the same time. We need to accelerate this movement and become more strategic and structured. At the moment, I mean, Bosch has been in India present for more than 100 years. It is a well-established business relationship between India and Germany within Bosch.
Inclusion here means broader markets, not just representation. Irene Selvanathan, CEO at Neurospace, shares her satellite ML journey highlights Asia-Africa opportunities via GIIC visibility.
I was actually dreaming of it since I was a child. So space was something I really wanted to go to. And so I managed, even when I was doing the research for gallium nitride, to be in projects which were space dependent. So it was gallium nitride for space. So I was very happy there. And then managed to find startups which were really doing space hardware. And this was a dream. They allowed me to go to the launch site, to the rockets, and test and mount the devices inside. And so I was standing on the upper stage of a rocket. This was so inspiring and so great. I think it's always good that more people and audience can hear what you're doing, because some of the people didn't even have the idea that this type exists. And the rest is always like, it will start from its own. So people will be there and have listened to it and then remember something else, talk to someone else who said, actually, I was looking for something like this. So it's very interesting where at the end this will lead to. But for me, I see meanwhile, there is this huge opportunity for Asia, even for Africa as well. And I think it's very important to deal with this, especially India as a country. And I think especially in Germany, they see more and more opportunities for India or with India. And that's why for me it was very interesting to participate here.
Momentum from representation fuels the next orbit. Partnerships like these boost resilience, profitability, and GDP multipliers, mirroring inclusive teams' outperformance. Blind spots in product design cost market share. Diverse voices at GIIC prove the fix. This isn't event hype, it's the systems thinking that who's missing from your innovation room. Germany plus India scales solutions for the world. Ethical AI, resilient infra, bold space plays. Share and comment if this reframed deep tech resonates with you, and tell us which collab insight hits the hardest.